Welcome to the Community Grant Information Session for 2025. This session will be presented by Council's Community Grant Team Maria Criticos and Despina Demertzidis. The session will cover the grants on offer for the 2025 Annual Grants Program. It will cover the grant objectives, eligibility, grant categories, and how to apply. We will commence with an acknowledgement of country. Manningham Council acknowledges the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people as the traditional owners of the land and waterways known as Manningham. Council pays respect to elders past, present and emerging and values the ongoing contribution to enrich and appreciate the cultural heritage of Manningham. Council acknowledges and respects Australia's First Peoples as traditional owners of lands and waterways across country and encourages reconciliation between all. Manningham Council also values the contribution made to Manningham over the years by people of diverse background and cultures. The purpose of the Community Grant Program is to support not-for-profit community organisations to deliver activities, programs and services that benefit and respond to the current and emerging needs and interests of the Manningham community. The program seeks to achieve the following objectives: partnerships with local community groups and not-for-profit organisations to foster, develop and deliver shared outcomes, provide a range of programs and activities that respond to the needs of our Manningham community and align with Council's plans and strategies, support participation and community involvement, focusing on groups and individuals that experience barriers to participating in community life, skill development to build the capacity and empower individuals to develop and gain new skills, innovation, pilot activities that provide an innovative response to local priorities and ensure ongoing environmental, economic and social sustainability. Value, provide a measurable, cost-effective and efficient means to deliver community outcomes in a transparent and accountable manner. To be eligible to apply for a community grant, your organisation must be a not-for-profit group or organisation, such as an incorporated association or company limited by guarantee. You can be a school, although schools are encouraged to partner with community groups in activities that benefit the wider community. If your community group or organisation is not incorporated, you can be auspiced by a not-for-profit organisation that is incorporated who is able to accept legal and financial responsibility for the project. In addition to this, your organisation must be located or deliver the activity within Manningham. Your organisation must also have no outstanding debts to Council. Who is not eligible to apply for a community grant? Applications will not be accepted from an individual, a community organisation that is not incorporated, a commercial for-profit organisation. If your community group or organisation is not a registered not-for-profit, you may still be able to apply. You will need to partner with an incorporated community organisation through an auspice arrangement. You may ask, what is an auspice? An auspice is an agreement where an incorporated not-for-profit organisation, known as the principal, agrees to support a community organisation that is not incorporated. If the application is successful, the principal organisation receives, holds and administers the funding for the auspiced agreement. A letter of agreement from the auspicing organisation must be submitted with the application. What types of activities will not be funded? Applications may be deemed ineligible if funding is sought for the following: activities that are inconsistent with Council's priorities or inconsistent with the Community Grant Program objectives, activities that have already commenced, or where an organisation has committed expenditure prior to the signing of the grant agreement. Council will not fund retrospectively. Activities that have a religious, political or curriculum purpose, funds for fixed assets and equipment, building maintenance or capital improvements such as heating and cooling systems, blinds, building works or facility management. Funds for catering or to offer social outings and gatherings, unless it can be demonstrated that it is part of a core project, such as a morning tea at a group activity. Incomplete applications, including no quotes, will be automatically deemed ineligible. For a full list of what will not be funded, please view page 5 of the guidelines. The grant categories available in Council's annual Community Grant Program include community development grants, supporting activities to achieve community development outcomes that respond to the needs of Manningham's diverse community. Arts grants, supporting activities that provide opportunity to participate in the arts, culture and heritage. Festival and events grants, supporting community-led festivals and events that attract visitors to Manningham and activate key locations. Healthy Ageing grants, supporting the health and quality of life of older adults by working in partnership with community organisations. These categories are offered annually and you can apply for funding between $3,001 to $20,000. Applications for these categories open in February. The community development grants enable not-for-profit groups and organisations to achieve short to medium-term community development outcomes that align with Council's plans and strategies. It focuses on the needs of Manningham's diverse community, including those who may experience social isolation or disadvantage, people with a disability, youth, and women and children experiencing violence. The objectives seek to respond to a demonstrated community need, provide for the inclusion and participation of all members of the community, including targeted responses to enable vulnerable individuals and groups to participate in local activities and opportunities, foster an inclusive and harmonious community drawing strength from differences and diversity, to enhance the health and well-being of the Manningham community, to support a safer and more resilient community, to encourage collaboration between council, groups and organisation for the benefit of the community, and to enhance community outcomes through organisational change or development such as capacity building and research. The notional allocation for this category is $110,000 and applications are accepted for the amounts between $3,001 to $20,000. Some examples may include a mental health and wellbeing project that will engage people at risk of social isolation through the delivery of a leadership project that enhances participant connections with the local community, or an innovative initiative that will increase the community's understanding of gender equity by delivering a series of interactive and informative workshops to drive cultural change. The arts grants enable not-for-profit groups and organisations to deliver arts, cultural and heritage activities that reflect the diversity of the Manningham community and align with Council's plans and strategies. It supports community art initiatives that contribute to the vibrancy and livability of Manningham, enabling the delivery of community-led arts and cultural activities, encouraging partnerships, innovation and best practice. The objectives in this category seek to enable diverse arts and cultural expression across diverse practice disciplines, enable participants with a sense of belonging and enhance inclusion and participation of all members of the community, enable artists and participants with a sense of feeling valued, support the local creative industry by ensuring that local artists are engaged as part of the project. The notional allocation for this category is $50,000. Applications are accepted for the amounts between $3,001 and $20,000. An example of an application in this category would be an arts activity that encourages Manningham residents to celebrate significant occasions, or a community arts initiative such as an artist-led mural or performance. Festival and event grants enable not-for-profit groups and organisations to support community-led festival and events that attract visitors to Manningham and activate key locations. The objectives in this category seek to enable the delivery of one-off community-led festivals and events throughout the municipality, to contribute to the vibrancy and livability of the City of Manningham, to celebrate our cultural diversity through cross-cultural engagement and participation, to encourage partnerships between groups, organisations and businesses for the delivery of improved outcomes, to foster community spirit and a sense of belonging through events, activities and festivals, and to encourage innovation and best practice. Funding in this category has a notional allocation of $50,000 and applications are accepted for the amounts between $3,001 and $20,000. An example of an application in this category would be an event or festival that showcases Manningham's heritage and or cultural diversity, the celebration of a culturally significant date that the whole community can participate. festivals and events that support local history. The Healthy Aging grants enable not-for-profit groups and organisations to improve the health and quality of life of older adults in Manningham. The objectives in this category seek to respond to a specific need in the ageing Manningham community, to be inclusive and allow all members of the ageing community to participate, targeting vulnerable older adults, families, carers, and groups. Foster an inclusive and harmonious community, drawing strength from difference and diversity. To enhance the health and well-being of the Manningham ageing community. To support a safer and more resilient community. And to encourage collaboration between council, groups, and organisation for the benefit of the ageing community. Funding in this category has a notional allocation of $80,000 and applications are accepted for the amounts between $3,001 and $20,000. An example of an eligible activity could be a recreational program offered by a Manningham service provider for older adults, offering functional strength and balance and flexibility classes. Group activities such as gardening clubs, nature walks, dance, arts, cooking clubs, skill sessions, just to name a few.
Community development, festival and events, arts and healthy ageing grants are all part of Manningham Council's annual grant program. They are offered once per year in February and funding is for one-off projects and activities that run for up to 12 months. However, organisations may apply for a second year of funding for a project or activity if they can justify in their application the need for a second year of funding. The second year of funding should expand on the initial project and demonstrate the need for additional funding. In the application form, applicants will be asked to provide responses to a number of questions. The questions correspond to the assessment criteria listed on the page. Each assessment criteria has a specific criteria weighting, which indicates the importance of the criteria and is provided to assist in guiding your responses. The assessment criteria scores applications to a maximum of 100%. Applicants are encouraged to provide a sufficient level of information that will enable grant assessors to make informed decisions regarding the merit of the application. Information about the assessment criteria is in the grant guidelines. You should ensure you have read the guidelines as they provide valuable information to support you in the application process. Also, the application form provides prompts and hints on how questions are to be answered. Before you start your online application, please ensure that you have referred to the application checklist on the last page of the grant guidelines. There are a number of mandatory requirements and information that you must provide. It is much easier if you have this information available before you start your online application. The additional information that you are required to include in your application includes a project plan and evaluation framework. The following slides will cover this requirement. Evidence that your organisation is an incorporated organisation that is a not-for-profit, or details of your auspice. Quotes for budgeted expenses over $500, a latest copy of your organisation's financial statement. If you're a new organisation and don't have a financial statement, you can provide a bank statement that is current with your organisation's name on it. Also, you will be required to submit a current certificate of public liability insurance with a minimum of $20 million of cover. The checklist is located on the last page of your grant guidelines. I would like to note that after you've started your online application, you are able to save it and come back to it. In your application, you will be required to provide a project plan. The project plan guides the management and implementation of your activity and tells us what you are doing, who is doing it, how it will be done, and when it will be done. It includes answers to questions such as what key tasks must be completed to successfully deliver the activity. That is the left-hand column. Who will be responsible for delivering the activity? Larger projects may need more than one person responsible for different tasks. How will you demonstrate that the activity is completed? For example, a project committee is established, might be one activity. Your key outputs should be measurable, so please keep data about your project. Data is important when you report back about your activities. And finally, when should a task be completed by? If your application is successful, the project plan will form part of your funding and service agreement. The project plan template is included in the SmartyGrants application form. A sample project plan is available in Appendix A of the grant guidelines. A completed evaluation framework is required. Project evaluation is important as it enables organisations to plan for specific program and activity outcomes at the commencement of the program. In addition, it enables the measurement of how well the activity was delivered and whether it achieved what it set out to do. In the evaluation framework, you will be required to outline project or activity objectives, your proposed outcomes, to provide a measure or indicator of success, and a timeline of when outcomes are expected to be delivered. Please refer to Appendix B in the grant guidelines for an example of the evaluation framework. Also, you might refer to the short learning bite on our website for more information about developing project plans and the evaluation framework. Your budget should reflect the scope of your activity and include all income and expenditure that relate to your proposed activity. When you have completed your budget, the total income and total expenditure must balance. That is, they must be the same. Include all income and expenditure items in the table. Review your list to ensure you don't leave out anything. Project management and administration costs for the project may be accepted up to a maximum value of 20% of the grant. Please refer to the Learning Bite video on developing your budget, which is on the Community Grant Program page for more information. You must list all income contributions, both financial and in kind, relating to your activity. As demonstrated on this slide, you should include funding that your organisation is requesting from Council. In this example, the organisation is requesting $11,620. In addition, you should include any financial contribution that your own organisation is making. Any other income, such as ticket sales to an event or fundraising, should be listed as income as well. Details of all in-kind income contributions should be included in your budget. An in-kind contribution is when an organisation contributes goods or services in lieu of providing cash funds. For example, the number of hours contributed by volunteers are considered to be in kind. Also, an in-kind contribution may include free venue hire or the use of equipment such as photocopiers or other equipment. In-kind contributions must have a dollar value. If you are including the value of volunteer hours, you should cost this at a rate of $45 per hour. Applicants who provide evidence of in-kind and/or financial contributions will be considered favourably. For more information on in-kind contributions, please refer to the Learning Bite video on the Community Grant Program page on our website. You should also list all expenses associated with your activity or project. This example budget is for a theatre production. It includes the cost of a facilitator, including the breakdown of how many hours they will work and the cost per hour. This breakdown is important because it provides the necessary information to justify this expense. Other expense items might include material costs, insurance for the workshops, venue hire of equipment such as lighting and sound, promotional expenses, and any in-kind contributions. Please note that in-kind income that was listed in the income table should have a corresponding expense in the expenses table. At this point, when you have completed your expenditure table, the total expenditure should be the same as the total income. Quotes are mandatory for all expense items over $500 and should be included as attachments to your application. You may provide a quote directly from a supplier. We will also accept a snapshot of an online or hard copy catalogue item. Failure to provide a quote when required may result in your application being deemed ineligible or unsuccessful. Council's grant process is managed through an online portal called SmartyGrants. You can access SmartyGrants via Council's website and also on the addresses listed on this page. This is the front page of the SmartyGrants website. At the bottom of this page, you can select which category you are applying for, and it will take you to the application form for that grant category. Here are some tips on using SmartyGrants. When you register as a new user, you need to use your organisation's generic email address. Only one email address is permitted per organisation. This email will be the main contact for the duration of the funded activity. Please ensure that you do not use personal email addresses, as it can become difficult to contact people when they move on from the organisation. While you are preparing your application, please save every 5 minutes, as you can lose your work after 10 or 15 minutes. It throws you out, so please make sure that you save every 5 minutes. Make sure that you allow enough time to upload files and other important documentation. There will be prompts in the application form to show you where files should be uploaded. When you have completed your application, please press Submit. If you do not receive a confirmation of submission email, then you should presume that your submission has not been submitted. And remember your password. It is very important if you want to come in sometime later and apply for another grant. The key dates for 2025 are as follows for community development, healthy ageing, arts, and festival and events grants applications. Grants open on Monday the 3rd of February at 9 a.m. and they will close on Tuesday the 11th of March at 5 p.m. Please note that we do not accept late applications. Council will consider and endorse grant assessment panel recommendations in June, and applicants will be notified of outcomes in July. For small grants, they are open all year round, and the grant cut-off dates for 2025 are 31 May and 30 September. After that date, grants will be assessed and endorsed respectively in June for the May cut-off and October for the September cut-off. And notifications will be sent to applicants in July and November accordingly. If your application is successful, you will be required to enter into a funding and services agreement. This is known as a FASA. The FASA outlines the purpose of the funding, the dollar amount of funding, the period over which the grant applies. the rights and responsibilities of all parties to the FASA, and the terms and conditions of the grant.
Conditions of grants. Funds are to be used for intended purposes as set out in the Funding and Services Agreement. The activity should be completed in 12 months from the receipt of funding unless an alternative arrangement is approved by Council. Marketing material must include the Manningham logo and be approved by Council. Activity completion report should be submitted within 2 months of completing your project. Receipts of all expenditure items listed in the budget are required and should be attached to your activity completion report. Failure to provide receipts may require funds to be repaid to Council. If there are changes to your project from the original plan, you may require a grant variation. Please contact the grants team to assist you if you require a variation. For further information, go to our website or email the grants team at grants@manningham.vic.gov.au. Alternatively, you might find more grant opportunities on Grant Finder at manningham.grantguru.com.au/. If you would like to speak to a community grants officer, please call Maria Criticos or Despina Demertzidis on the numbers listed here. Thank you for taking the time to look at this presentation.